73% of WordPress users are still treating it like a basic website builder, while the top 1% are using it as a complete business automation system. That gap comes down to how the platform is approached. For most setups, WordPress ends up as a disconnected mix of themes and plugins, where each part works on its own but nothing really connects. You install tools, build pages, publish content, and hope it all works together, but over time, it becomes harder to manage, slower to run, and difficult to scale. The top 1% handle it differently. They treat WordPress as a set of systems that manage data, traffic, and sales together without constant manual work. Each part has a role, and everything is connected from the start. In the next few minutes, you'll see exactly how that shift happens, what actually changes behind the scenes, and how to structure your setup so it works like a system instead of a collection of tools. By the end of this, you'll have the exact 2026 workflows that show how to build, scale, and monetize in a way that's structured, repeatable, and ahead of what most users are doing. Alright, let's get started. Before building anything in WordPress, there are a few core ideas that need to be clear first. This isn't about learning more tools or adding more features, but about understanding how everything is meant to work together. The next sections break down what actually matters and what separates basic setups from systems that are built to scale. WordPress usually gets treated like a bunch of tools that you just stack together. You install a theme, then add plugins for forms, SEO, speed, and whatever else you need at the moment. It works at first, but over time, everything starts piling up. And that's when the site slows down, things conflict, and it becomes harder to manage. Most of the focus stays on publishing content. Pages go live, blog posts get added, but there's no real system behind it to bring in traffic or turn visitors into leads. So even though the site exists, it's really not doing much beyond sitting there. Then when something doesn't work, it's easy to think WordPress is the problem. But in most cases, it comes down to how everything was set up in the first place. On top of that, every project starts from zero. New layout, new structure, new setup, nothing carries over, so everything takes longer than it should. The top 1% don't approach WordPress like a collection of tools. They look at how everything connects before they start adding anything. Instead of adding tools randomly, there's a clear structure behind it. Content isn't just published and left there. It's part of the flow that brings in traffic over time. Pages aren't just designed to look good, they're built to guide someone towards taking action. Performance is handled early, so the site stays fast and doesn't fall apart as more gets added. And behind the scenes, everything is connected properly. Forms send data where it needs to go. Emails are triggered automatically, and systems talk to each other without manual work. There's also a level of consistency. Instead of rebuilding every time, there's a structure that carries over from one project to the next. That's what makes things faster, cleaner, and much easier to scale. Before anything gets built, there are a few core systems you need to understand first. This is the part most people skip, and it's usually why things start breaking later. Every strong setup comes from having the right structure behind it, not just adding tools or features as you go. These next 5 systems act as the foundation, making sure every decision you make actually supports a clear outcome instead of creating more complexity. System 1: Strategic Site Architecture, the foundation. This is where everything starts, and it has nothing to do with how the site looks. Most setups focus on themes first, but that creates a dependency on design instead of structure. The top 1% handle this differently. They build layouts using block patterns, which keeps everything inside the editor itself instead of relying on a theme. That way, the design stays intact even if the theme changes later. Structure also matters in how content is organized. Instead of adding pages randomly, everything is grouped into clear sections that connect to each other. This makes it easier for users to navigate and helps search engines understand what the site is actually about. Then there's how data is handled. Not everything should be treated like a blog post. Things like services, portfolios, or testimonials are separated into their own structures using custom post types and fields. This keeps everything organized and much easier to manage as the site grows. Behind the scenes, this also keeps the database clean. Removing unnecessary data like unused link notifications or bot activity prevents buildup over time. That's what keeps the system fast and stable long term, instead of slowing down as more gets added. System 2. Content intelligence and automation. Publishing a post isn't the goal, it's just the starting point. What matters is what happens after. The top 1% set up simple workflows so that once everything goes live, it automatically gets pushed to places like LinkedIn or email newsletters. That way, every piece of content reaches more people without extra effort each time. SEO is handled the same way. You no longer need to optimize every post manually. The structure is built into the site from the beginning. This makes it easier for search engines to understand and index your content, which supports long-term visibility without constant adjustments. There's also a focus on reuse. Instead of creating everything from scratch, high-performing content is turned into a library that can be used across different platforms. This keeps things consistent while saving time. And instead of guessing what works, everything is tracked properly. With analytics connected directly to the dashboard, you can see which content is actually performing and make decisions based on that, not assumptions. System 3. Conversion architecture. Traffic alone doesn't do much if there's no clear direction once someone lands on your site. Instead of leaving everything open, there's a clear structure behind how someone moves from one step to another. The top 1% think through that flow ahead of time, so each page flows naturally into the next and supports a specific outcome. Every element on the page has a role. Buttons, sections, and layouts are placed to guide attention and make the next step clear without forcing it. Calls to actions are positioned where they make sense, so users move forward without hesitation. Capturing data is built into that flow. Forms and opt-ins are part of the experience, turning visitors into leads that can be followed up with later, rather than losing them after a single visit. And everything connects. Content leads into actions, actions lead into follow-ups, and the entire process works together without unnecessary gaps. That's what keeps the system consistent and reliable over time. System 4. Performance and technical excellence. Now, everything behind the scenes needs to hold up as the site grows. Speed plays a big role here. Assets are kept lightweight, unnecessary elements are avoided, and everything is structured so pages load quickly without delays. This keeps the experience smooth and prevents performance from dropping as more content is added. Security is handled the same way. Instead of reacting to problems later, protection is built in from the start. This helps block automated threats and keeps both the site and user data secure without constant manual checks. There's also a system in place for backups and recovery. Data is saved automatically, so if something goes wrong, everything can be restored without starting over. This keeps the system stable even when issues come up. And since most traffic comes from mobile, the site is adjusted for that first. Spacing, text size, and layout are all set up to work properly on smaller screens, so the experience stays consistent no matter what device is being used. System 5. Business integration and automation. At this stage, everything on your site should connect to something beyond it. Everything that happens on the site should lead somewhere. When someone fills out a form, that information shouldn't just sit there. It should go straight into a system where it can be used. That's where CRM integration comes in, keeping all client data organized in one place without manual entry. The same idea applies to communication. Instead of sending emails manually, actions on the site trigger them automatically. Someone signs up, makes a purchase, or takes a specific step, and the right message gets sent without needing to step in each time. For sites that handle sales, the process is also connected. Orders, follow-ups, and even missed checkouts can be tracked and managed through simple workflows, so nothing gets lost along the way. And with everything connected, tracking becomes much clearer. You're not guessing what's working or what isn't. The data shows how people are interacting with the system, where things slow down, and where improvements can be made. Right now, the site isn't just something people visit. It's something that runs in the background and supports the business continuously. Practical implementation, the 1% workflow. Now that the systems are clear, the next step is putting them into practice. A clear process makes a big difference here because it keeps each step connected and avoids the back and forth that usually slows things down. Phase 1. Foundation setup, the right way. Alright, everything starts with a clean and stable setup. Begin with your hosting. Log onto your provider and make sure your DNS record is pointing to your server's IP address. This is what allows your site to be accessible online, so it needs to be set correctly before anything else. Once that's in place, go into your WordPress dashboard and clean it up. Open Screen Options in the top right corner and remove anything unnecessary like the welcome pane or news sections. Organize what's left so your workspace stays focused and easy to navigate. From there, install your theme. Go to Appearance and Themes and choose something lightweight like Astra or Cadence. These give you a clean starting point without adding extra load to the site, which helps with performance as you build. After that, move into plugins, but keep it controlled. Go to Plugins, Add Plugin, and install only the core tools you actually need. Lightspeed Cache for performance, WordFence for security, Updraft Plus for backups, WPF Forms for forms, Advanced Custom Fields for content structure, and Uncanny Automator for automation. This gives you a solid foundation to build on without adding unnecessary complexity early on. Phase 2. Content System Implementation. Now, here's the thing. Content needs to be structured in a way that stays organized as the site grows. WordPress by default gives you posts and pages, but that's not enough when you're handling different types of content. The top 1% separate things like services, portfolios, or testimonials into their own structures, so everything is easier to manage and easier to scale. To do that, go to the ACF menu in your sidebar and click Post Types, then select Add New. In the plural label, enter services, and in the singular label, enter service. Make sure the public toggle is turned on so visitors can view it on the site. Then scroll down to the advanced settings and enable Show in REST API so you can design those pages with the block editor. Under URLs, turn on the archive option so WordPress automatically creates a page where all your services are listed together. Once you save it, you'll see a new services section in your sidebar, separate from posts and pages. That gives your business content its own space, which keeps the site more organized and makes the overall structure easier for search engines to understand. The next part is setting up automation around that content. Go to Automator, open Settings, and connect the social platforms you want to use, whether that's LinkedIn, X, or something else. Once that connection is in place, create a new recipe and use a post is published as the trigger. Set the post type to servers, then add an action, then choose Post a status update to a profile. In the text box, just type New Service Available, then click the asterisk icon and add the post title and post URL. That way, every time a new service goes live, it gets distributed automatically without needing to post it manually. You can extend that same recipe into email as well. Click Add Another Action in the same recipe, then choose your email tool like MailChimp or MailPoet. Select Create and Send a campaign, then enter a name for your campaign. In the email subject field, type New Service Available. For the email content, click the asterisk icon and insert the post title and post URL, then click Save. Once that's set up, your website starts working like an intelligence system, automatically feeding your lead nurturing engine whenever new content goes live. SEO should also be built into the system early. Install a plugin like Rank Math or Yoast SEO, activate it, and go through the setup wizard. Using the basic setup is enough to generate a sitemap automatically, which helps search engines understand which pages need to be indexed. And to keep everything aligned properly, go into Settings, then General, and update your time zone to match your local city. That way, scheduled posts, automation, and logs all run on the correct time, which keeps the system much easier to manage moving forward. Phase 3. Conversion Optimization. Right now, we need to get real results from the traffic coming in. Start by creating a dedicated landing page. Go to Pages, then Add Page, and name it Special Offer. Once inside the editor, click the blue plus icon in the top left corner, open the Patterns tab, and search for a hero section. Choose a pattern with a large title and a button. This is the first thing visitors see, so using a pre-built pattern helps keep the layout clean and professional from the start. Scroll below the hero section and add social proof. Click the plus icon, insert a heading block, and type testimonials. Under that, add a columns block and select the 3-column layout. In each column, add an image block for a client photo and a paragraph block for the testimonial text. Once everything is set, click Publish in the top left corner. Now, set this page as your homepage. Go to Settings, then Reading, and under Your Homepage Displays, select the option for a static page. Open the Homepage dropdown and choose your special offer page, then click Save Changes. This ensures visitors land on a page designed to convert instead of a default blog feed. For lead capture, go to your Contact Us page and insert your WPF Forms block. Fill out the form yourself to test it and confirm that the notification email arrives in your inbox correctly. This step is important because it will turn the site into a working lead system rather than just a display. Then, connect the flow. Go back to your landing page, click your main call to action button, and insert a link. Paste the URL of your checkout page or contact page, then save. This creates a direct path from interest to action. To improve performance, set up A/B testing. This is a systematic process of comparing two different versions of a web page or element to determine which one performs better based on a specific goal. Start by defining a primary goal, like increasing button clicks or form submissions. Then, go to your Pages menu and duplicate your landing page. Open the original page, click the 3-dot menu in the top right corner, and select Copy All Blocks. Create a new page, paste everything in, and change exactly one variable, such as the headline text or button color. After that, go to Plugins, install a tool like Neilio A/B Testing, and create a new page test. Assign your original page and the variation to the test. Let it run. Keep an eye on the results until you've gathered a solid sample size, like around 100 visitors per page. Then check your dashboard to see which version is getting the higher conversion rate, and set that one as your permanent live page. Phase 4. Advanced Automation. After everything is set up, the next step is making sure the site can run on its own. Business processes can be automated so that actions on the site trigger immediate results. For example, when a user logs in, a notification can be set automatically. To set this up, go to the Automator menu in your sidebar and click Add New Recipe. Choose the logged-in user's recipe type. Under Integrations, select WordPress and choose to trigger a user logs into the site. Then add an action. Select Email and choose Send an Email. Set the recipient to the admin email. Add a subject like New User Registered, and in the body, insert dynamic fields like the user's first name and email using the asterisk icon. Save the recipe, then switch it from draft to live. This ensures you're notified instantly without needing to check the dashboard manually. Customer lifecycle steps can also be automated. Start by creating a follow-up page. Go to Pages, add a new page titled Thank You, Next Steps, and include a heading like Welcome to the Family, along with a short explanation of what happens next. Publish the page. Then connect it to your form. Open your form inside WPF Forms. Go to the confirmation settings and change the confirmation type from message to show page. Select the thank you page and save. After submitting the form, users will now be redirected to that page automatically. This transition moves them from a visitor into a lead with a clear next step. You can extend this by adding a follow-up action. On the thank you page, insert a button labeled Join Our Community or Follow Our Updates. Then link it to your social platform or community page. This encourages continued engagement right after the first interaction. Revenue visibility also depends on making sure the site is actually discoverable. Go to Settings, then Reading, and scroll to the bottom. Make sure the option that discourages search engines from indexing your site is unchecked, then save. Leaving this enabled prevents your content from being found at all. To track performance, install Sitekit by Google from the plugin section and connect it to Search Console and Analytics. This brings your data directly onto the dashboard. On a weekly basis, check your top performing pages and compare views against conversions. If a page gets traffic but few submissions, that's a signal to adjust the call to action or layout. As traffic grows, the setup should be prepared to handle it. Once the site reaches higher volume, tools like Cloudflare Enterprise and Object Cache Pro can be added to maintain speed and prevent database slowdowns. The tools you choose will affect how stable and secure your setup is over time. Start with plugins. Stick to the official WordPress.org repository for anything free, and if you need premium tools, only purchase them directly from the developer. This avoids unnecessary risks like malware or poorly maintained software. Your hosting also plays a big role. Choose a provider that includes an SSL certificate and offers a one-click WordPress installation. This makes it easier to move from a test setup to a live site without extra complications. For backups and migrations, use a tool like All-in-One WP Migration. Go to Export, then File, and you can package your entire site into a single file. This makes it easy to move your site or restore it if needed. To track performance, install Sitekit by Google. This connects your site to analytics and search data, allowing you to monitor traffic directly from your WordPress dashboard without switching between platforms. Some issues don't show up immediately, but over time, they start to break the system. One of the most common is plugin overload. Installing tools without a clear purpose adds unnecessary code, which slows the site down and increases the risk of security issues. Every plugin should have a specific role, not just be added because it seems useful. Another mistake is switching themes after the site is already live. Changing themes affects layouts, menus, and design settings, which usually leads to rebuilding large parts of the site from scratch. Keeping a consistent structure from the beginning avoids that problem. Technical debt also builds up quietly. Deactivating a plugin doesn't remove it completely, it just disables it. The files are still there, which can create security risks over time. Running a monthly check and deleting anything unused keeps the system clean. Manual work is another area that slows things down. Repeating the same task every day usually means there's a way to automate it. Setting up simple workflows saves time and keeps everything running more efficiently without constant input. Once everything is running properly, we can still make the system more efficient and easier to manage at scale. Small custom features can be added without relying on extra plugins by using tools like code snippets. This keeps the setup lighter while still allowing flexibility when something specific is needed. Managing multiple sites also becomes easier with the right setup. Instead of handling each one separately, you can run multiple websites from a single dashboard, which is useful if you're working across different brands or projects. Connections can go further than just basic integrations. WordPress can be linked to the rest of your business tools, whether that's accounting, shipping, or other platforms, so everything works together without manual transfers. For client work, the experience can also be customized. White labeling removes WordPress branding from the dashboard, making it look like a fully custom system under your own brand. This creates a more professional experience for clients while keeping everything organized behind the scenes. Alright, we started with that gap. Most setups stayed disconnected, while the top 1% run everything as a system. Now you have the structure behind that, the systems, the workflow, and how everything connects from start to finish. Apply it and your setup stops being something you manage manually and starts working as a system that builds, scales, and improves over time. Alright, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching.